Estate planning has everything to do with finances and financial assets. And when I say finances, your money in the bank, your investments, your policies, your debts, and it has everything to do with your assets, right? Your primary residence, maybe you've got also another form of property, whether you're making money with it or not. An estate plan will always be around these things. And the reason why it speaks to, or it really is important to gather and talk about these things, is because these are the things that have the potential of changing the lives of the people that you're leaving behind. One less mistake that you make, these financial assets, your primary residence could be lost, and that could affect your family. And so there is no way where we're not going to talk about finances and financial assets when we're talking about an estate plan. Because remember, when you are still alive, you provide for your family fully in most instances. You take care of their needs. You give them a home, right? You pay a bond. And every month you pay for certain things. You pay for school, you pay for transportation, any other thing. Less mistake, or when you're not there, rather, what's going to happen is that that's going to negatively affect them, whether we like it or not. Because that financial protection that was there is gone. That is why an estate plan is about preserving your finances and your financial assets, and it has everything to do with money. This is what determines, number one, the lifestyle the people you're leaving behind are going to have, whether or not their lives are going to change, and the kind of status and the kind of lives they're going to live, and whether or not they're going to be left destitute. It is important to probe into this, especially if you're married to someone and they also have additional children outside. Very critical. Because let's mistake, they leave you with debts that you cannot pay for. You're compromising the roof over your head. Do you understand what I'm saying? I have seen situations where properties are sold because this person who passed away owed 70,000 Rand. A property worth 500,000 Rand is sold because this amount must be settled, etc. This is why an estate plan is done. It's to ensure that these things don't happen. Properties are not sold. There's not going to be debts that cannot be settled. Because again, there's nothing we can do about debts when somebody passes away. We're not going to, they're not going to evaporate. That's what people must understand and be in the reality of, is that these debts are not going to disappear. You cannot make debts and then expect that things will be fine with the people you're leaving behind, and you expect them not to have plans and think about how you are conducting yourself. Very important. If you're someone who's married in community or property, you must be worried about what your spouse is doing, what they are up to. If they're taking out debt, you've got to try and find out what exactly they are liable for. And if you think it's going to help you, just have a policy on them, for them, so that when they do pass away, this can be taken care of, because they are going to create problems for you. That one you cannot run away from. And the worst thing is the fact that you now have to take out money out of your own pocket. It always works like that. Somebody leaves a debt. There was a judgment here. I think I spoke about it a couple of months ago. I'm not sure when. This lady was married to this particular man. This man had a debt. I think it was worth 200,000 Rand, somewhere around there. I'm not sure anymore. It was a while back. This man passed away and he had this debt. When he passed away, mind you, these people that I'm talking about are pensioners, right? So when he passed away, obviously the creditors came and said, okay, we need it, or we need this amount to be settled. And they were looking at the estate. The only thing in the estate was the home that these pensioners were living in. Now, mind you, this person doesn't have money. This one that passed away did not have money. Creditors are saying, we want the 200,000 Rand. That lady tried by all means to protect her primary residence on the basis that she did not have anywhere to go. That was the only thing she had, right? And she did not take out this debt, but that didn't matter. At the end of the day, a judgment was given that that house must be sold so that the creditor can be paid what is due to them. And the lady will see what she's going to do thereafter, because that's not the problem of the law. So you cannot say that the discussion about money and financial assets should not be had and should not be a priority. It must be a priority. It should be at the forefront of the discussion, and you should be concerned as a married person, especially if you're married to someone who's conducting themselves recklessly financially, who also has financial burdens and also has extramarital relations. Because whatever it is that they're leaving behind will be your mess, because you are like this with them. You are one, right? When we're looking at, or when his or her debts come about, they've passed away. When we bring up their debt, we're not going to say, okay, in isolation, we've got to charge the estate. You are part of that estate. Everything you own is also part of that estate. So which means all of those debts are going to be part and parcel of that, and they're going to affect you. And if you're not willing to budge, things that are also in your name, that also, you probably paid for, are going to be sold, because you guys are one. So I don't want you to be manipulated by anybody who's going to say to you, why is it a priority for us to talk about finances? Why is it a priority for us to talk about financial assets and putting things in order? Because these things are important. It goes without saying, these things are important. These are things that change people's lives. Today, people are destitute. They have no properties to live in because debts needed to be paid. The estate had no money. Persons or people tried to find the money, but they couldn't find it. At the end of the day, the assets had to be sold and the creditors settled. Thereafter, people have to see what they're going to do.